today doc- is Dr. Ranil Sugathadasa, an accomplished advisor and coach with over 2 decades of experience empowering leaders and organizations. Dr. Ranil's work spans diverse fields such as leadership coaching, project management, and organizational transformation. As the founder of the Motivator Private Limited, he has collaborated with over 400 organizations across industries, delivering impactful training and consulting. His unique blend of technical expertise and leadership development makes him a trusted mentor for CEOs, corporate boards, and professionals worldwide. A renowned speaker and a senior lecturer at the University of Moratuwa, Dr. Ranil combines practical insights with cutting edge strategies. His mission to inspire individuals and teams has reached over a million people, making him the perfect person to guide us in today's session on innovation and market success. Without further ado, let's warmly welcome Dr. Ranil Sugathadasa. Sir, it's over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, my dear friends who are really keen about innovation. And so basically speaking, I think you get a lot of creative ideas at different points. Maybe in my case, I get most of my creative ideas either I'm sitting on the command in my washroom or else when I was walking um, at different places alone. So when I was walking, I get various new ideas. And when I was sitting on my command, I get various ideas. So you also might get various ideas when you have a cup of tea at Wala canteen or Goda canteen alone, right? Or you might get various ideas when you have a kottu with your batchmates. And you might get various ideas when you travel from Moratuwa to your hometown, when you are seated in a slow bus or maybe fast train, you get various ideas. So ideas are coming to us at very many different points. And my dear friends, as engineers, we have to respect those ideas because these brilliant ideas will come and go. They will come and go, right? And if you don't write them down or record it on your mobile phone, it can be you can type it or maybe you can voice record it. You might forget it entirely. So these creative ideas may pop up at different points in the day, and you should basically note them down and start thinking about some of these ideas. Because some of these ideas can even solve pains of people in the country or people in the globe, right? Some of these ideas may worth multi-billion dollars. Some of these ideas may take you to the next level, help you to achieve all your dreams. Some of these ideas may help the world to have more happiness and success. So these ideas, even though they come freely, they must be respected by recording them more, writing them down. In my case, I always keep a small notebook and a pen to write them down. And even when I get idea when I am driving, I try to stop my car and write them down, or at least record it as a voice message in my mobile phone. That's a crucial first step. And then once you get them down, you have to improve them step by step. Because creativity is dependent to innovativeness. You get a lot of creative ideas, but to make sure that they become innovation, there is a process. You have to improve the idea. You have to check whether how best this idea can help some segment of the society. Sometimes the idea may be really eccentric, but that can be supporting to some group in the society. So you can't just think the idea is not practical or not worthwhile. It's a wrong thinking. Any idea can be worthwhile as long as you work on them, as long as you try to find a marketplace to introduce this idea as a product or service, my dear friends. So the first point to understand is every new idea you get is important. So you have to respect them. You have to write them down. Secondly, once you write them down, you have to think where it can be applied, how it can be best used, how it can be used to help people around you, how it can be used to bring some dollars to Sri Lanka, how it can be helpful for you to become an entrepreneur, how it can be helpful to give 100 jobs for talented 100 engineers. So you have to dream and think big with the idea. To do that, you have to do a lot of brainstorming alone. You have to bring more and more value. You have to start thinking critically and analytically. You have to check whether how best this can be introduced and positioned. And you have to further add value to this idea using your thinking. That's the starting point. Once you add value to your idea using your own thinking, then you have to have a mastermind group, various other set of talented, friends around you to bring that idea into the next level. In that case, I would suggest you to get different type of talents. If you are doing electronics and telecommunication engineering, rather than trying to do it only with electronic and telecommunication engineering students, you can talk to a friend doing probably textiles or maybe mechanical or civil, or maybe a friend who is doing marketing at business faculty or any other different university, or else and you have to bring complementary strength to this idea. You have to bring new insight, new perspective, new thinking to bring it to the next level. So don't collect the same type of people. If you are very good in, say, technical thing, you have to get a marketing person, business person, entrepreneurial thinker to develop this idea rather than getting too many technical people around the idea. Because otherwise it might even become a bit of a soup, because everyone is technically talented, but there's nobody to bring to the idea to the next level when it comes to market, understanding the market, understand the customer, and so forth. Also, in doing so, I have developed a framework, and I would like to show it to you. Actually, I published this in LinkedIn. So I'm going to my LinkedIn article, and I'm going to show it to you, right? And yes, hope you can see it. Hope you can see it. So what does it mean? So it has something called innovation model. It is something called innovation model. I representing ideation and brainstorming. N representing need identification and user-centric approach. IN. N again representing network and collaboration. O representing opportunity identification. V representing value creation and feasibility. A representing adaptability and experimentation. T representing technology integration and scalability. I representing implementation and holistic approach. O representing outcome evaluation and feedback. And N representing novelty and visionary differentiation. So this is innovation. I, N, O, V, A-T-I-O-N. I would first of
Excuse me,
all,
sir.
yeah, can't you see it?
Uh, yeah, something is wrong, I think. We can't see the screen share.
Wait a minute. Can you see it now?
Ah, yeah, that's okay. Now, okay,
Sorry
sir.
for the inconvenience.
No, it's
So
fine. Thank you.
this, thank you very much for raising the issue, right? And so innovation model done by me, ideation and brainstorming, N, need identification and user-centric approach, N, network and collaboration, O, opportunity identification, V, value creation and feasibility, A, adaptability and experimentation, T, technology integration and scalability, I, implementation and holistic approach, O, outcome evaluation and feedback, and N, novelty and visionary differentiation. So, my dear friends, uh, what you need to do is when you get an idea, first note it down or at least record it in the phone and then start listening to it, thinking about it when you get more free time, and probably then you can put this idea into my innovation model alone before you share it to others. Later you can share it to others, especially a mastermind group, and together you can use my model to further improve it. So let me explain you how it is going to happen. So ideation and brainstorming. Encourage free-flowing brainstorming session to generate a wide range of ideas and solution. So this can be an idea just coming to your mind, or else you see a problem in the society and you feel really uh, heartfelt need to help the society to solve the problem, and you try to generate ideas. So in the ideation and brainstorming, either the idea can come accidentally, that's one way. The second way is you see a problem around us, and you want to solve that problem, and you are thinking ideas about it. Like, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, he want to help his friends to be connected, the busy friends to be connected, that he want to solve it, that he realized that, he has seen some, you know, pictures and some scripts in a rocky wall in South Asian country, I believe it's Sri Lanka, at his during his childhood, and he just tried to connect those two dots, and as a result of the idea of Facebook happened to come. This is what I heard. So the idea can flow freely. When you get an idea freely as an accident, think how you can improve this idea to solve a problem in the society. Because innovation is solving problem in the society at a profit, right? Or else you can find a problem in the society and try to generate ideas. Whatever it is called, it's ideation and brainstorming. So you have to do it alone first. That is I. So what is N? N is need identification and user-centric approach. What is that? Identify unmet needs by deeply understanding the experiences, preferences, and pain points of your customer. So once you understand the problem, you have to go to the skin of the people who suffer with the pain or problem. You have to go into the skin of the people who is suffering with the problem. Or else, when you get a fresh idea as an accident, you have to check whom can be benefited by this idea. So you have to go to the, your potential customers' skin to really, really understand how best this idea can be welcomed by your potential market, my dear friends. Being engineers, I know that you are very good in your left brain. You are very good in idea generation. You are very good in tech. But sometimes you are very poor in understanding the user's point of view. Sometimes you need to develop your skill of going to the user's skin in deep and try to feel his or her pains. Because when you feel the user's pain only, you can further improve the idea to solve the pains of the user. And if you can solve the pains of the potential user, he or she or they will start buying your product at a decent price. That's how you can make profit. So to do that, my dear friends, you should try to understand unmet needs of your potential users, user experience preferences, and pain points of the user, so that you can think with the shoes of the user. You can walk by wearing the shoes of the worker, that user. That's not enough. You have to go to the skin of the user to understand what exactly and how exactly your new idea can help the user. So that is need identification and user-centric approach. So you have to do it alone first in the first round. Later, with your mastermind group, coming from entrepreneurial background, marketing background, finance background, technical background, and user background, can help you to understand this aspect very well. So in the second stage, you have to do it together with a team, right? Need identification and user-centric approach. As a CEO, coach, and trainer, I sometimes use some of these technology and IT companies to understand the user's pain. Because most of these engineers, they are really good at technical thing, but they are not very good in listening to the customer or the potential customer, or they are not very good in understanding the expectation of the customer, or they are not very good in understanding the, not very good in going into the skin of the customer to understand how best this idea need further refinement to go to the marketplace. So that is the second point. And need identification and user-centric approach. Third one is network and collaboration. Leverage diverse perspective through collaboration within and outside the organization. That's again very important. If you only collaborate with your department friends, or if you just only collaborate with your faculty friends, or if you only collaborate with your university friends, it's not going to be successful. You have to wisely, using your brain, understand who exactly you need to be collaborative with. If you find wrong collaborative partner, that's again end of the story also. So you have to do it very wisely. And you have to collaborate with right people to bring the ideas to the next level. You have to collaborate with right people to bring the idea to the next level. That's where again engineers fail, because they sometimes fail to understand the right people to collaborate, or they sometimes collaborate with wrong people, or else their team is full of technical people and not having adequately creative thinkers, people who can help you with finance, understanding the customer expectation, and fund generation to make this idea reality. So network and collaboration is important here. You should do it very smartly so that others can't steal your idea. At the same time, you have to be having some reasonable openness to sell your idea also. So you have to get people into right people. If you choose wrong people, end of the story again. You have to choose right people so that you can actually network and collaborate very effectively, so that you can make 1 + 1 is greater than 2. That is synergy. INN, right? Then O, opportunity identification. And this is not a sequence, my dear friends. I mean, all these are thinking lenses. And again, you have to go back to I, you have to again come back to N, and so forth. And what is this opportunity identification? Look beyond the present to identify the future opportunities and envision groundbreaking possibilities. Sometimes, if you only think very near future, you are going to fail. Probably your idea is really going to be a fruitful idea if you think about next 10 to 15 years. That's what I meant by opportunity identification. Rather than just identify the pains of the current potential customers or users, you have to go beyond that and I try to identify the potential opportunity much beyond today. It's probably 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Opportunity identification. Actually, Bill Gates did it. when he was trying to simplify computer softwares, I mean, he identified the opportunity because until that time, only senior engineers and scientists, they use a computer. But Bill Gates was trying to simplify the software so that anyone can use a computer. So he actually, he had the vision to understand the opportunity in next 10, 20 years. And that's how he became a billionaire, actually speaking, by helping the society in a way. So look beyond the present to identify future opportunities and envision groundbreaking possibilities. So you have to bring more and more thinking, my dear friends. You need more and more thinking. And that is opportunity identification, INNO. What is B then? Value creation feasibility. What is that? Focus on creating value while assessing the feasibility of ideas in terms of resources, time, and technical capabilities. Value creation is very important. Unless you create value, you can't sell it at a decent price. So based on the needs of the potential customer, needs and wants, you have to create value. And then by creating the value only, you can price it at a reasonable level where you can make a decent profit. And there, you have to focus on creating value while assessing the feasibility of ideas in terms of resources, time, and technical capabilities. And value creation and feasibility is important. Both are important. And then probably an idea, not very feasible today, can be a feasible idea by next 2 years with the emergence of new technologies and so forth. So you have to keep those things in your thinking and plan it out accordingly. Value creation and feasibility, that is V. And the next point is A, adaptability and experimentation. Because when you get an idea, it doesn't mean that you have to only attach to that idea unnecessarily and live with that. No, you have to remain flexible and embrace a culture of experimentation. Maybe doing a little pilot project, little experimentation, allowing for trial and error to refine the idea. Probably you might fail, maybe many times. That's okay. But you have to do trial and errors. You have to adapt, and you have to become very flexible, agile, and embrace a culture of experimentation. It needs experimentation. No idea is going to be successful only in the first attempt. You have to experiment, 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 and experiment. I think you must know that Thomas Alva Edison tried to, uh, you know, build the bulb 1,000 times, right? So experimentation, adaptability, and experimentation. Even when you actually introduce your idea to the marketplace as a pilot project, sometimes there can be rejection. So when there is rejection, don't worry. You have to learn from the rejection. You have to learn from the failures. You have to learn why customer or potential customer is not buying your product or service. You have to understand what is the gap. You have to go to the skin of the customer and try to understand them and try to fix the problem so that the customer is willing to buy your product again. Probably you have to relaunch it. And that is A. Then T. What is T? T is technology integration and scalability. Integrate cutting-edge technology while considering the scalability of innovation for future expansion. Both are important. You have to bring technology into the thing, because then only the idea is going to be, properly, practically put into the field. And technology is a key component of making innovation. And scalability is also very important. So you have to think about technology, how best the technology can be bought in, how best the scalability can be done, and you have to understand, you have to brainstorm these areas, and you have to do a lot of trial and error, work with a lot of pilots to understand the right equation, right methodology, right process, and right way of doing things. So it must have a lot of failures, and you have to enjoy that failure while learning the lessons from each failure, my dear friends. And the next point is implementation and holistic approach. I approach implementation with a holistic view, considering all aspect of the system and environment. That's again an area where engineers lack focus. They only focus very narrowly only in the technical aspect. They forget all other big picture understanding, right? They don't give prominence to understand the marketplace, understanding other aspect like, you know, economic situations, social trends. All these things are important when you try to introduce an idea. So you have to understand the big picture, the system and the environment. You might have to do some pestles, and going beyond that, you should try to understand a very important detail point where they will bring a lot of value addition to further refine your idea into an innovation. Then O, what is O? That is outcome evaluation and feedback. Evaluate the success of innovation initiatives by considering their impact on the entire system and stakeholders. So that's very important. How much impact you can make to the potential customers, how much impact you can make to the shareholders, how much impact you can make to the society. And that impact is important. If there is no much impact, your idea is just another idea. So you have to understand, you have to evaluate the outcome and the impact the idea is going to bring to you, your team, your wealth, your satisfaction, and the impact that brings to all type of stakeholders is important. So there is no point the idea bring a lot of impact to the society, but if it doesn't bring impact, financial positive impact to your team, you just do it once and forget about it, because you can't do social service every day unless there is decent profit. The sustainability is not there. So your idea, your innovation must bring impact to the stakeholders, positive impacts to almost all the stakeholders. If there are negative impact to somebody, you have to manage that risks innovatively, and you have to make sure that every stakeholder is getting some benefit out of your innovation, and then only it will be accepted and become a commercialized product, my dear friends. So outcome evaluation and feedback is important, and each and every stakeholder must get something out of it, and it shouldn't bring negative impact to planet earth or some community, because they will raise the concern, and as a result of that, that innovation is not sustainable enough to retain in the marketplace, because there are a lot of objections and there are a lot of negative factors. So all the stakeholders must be satisfied. That's what I say. Win. It should be win, 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 and finally win. It can't be win lose. That's what I say. Outcome evaluation and feedback, and you have to get feedback. Of course, when you first introduce this, you can't satisfy all the stakeholders. There can be unhappy set of stakeholders, and you have to get feedback, and you have to correct yourself so that they are also going to be very happy. So that's process, sequential process where you have to approach trial and error. And finally, novelty and visionary differentiation. Create unique innovations that differentiate from competitors while aligning with a visionary outlook. That's again very important. Don't just try to do what is available or what is just there in another country, but try to be unique. You have to bring the novelty of your product or service. And you have to bring the novelty again, you have to improve your idea. You have to do a lot of mastermind brainstorming. You have to argue with each other, debate with each other. You have to, do your idea generation, then keep the idea aside, have a respo 1 week, even without looking at the idea. Again, check the idea as a fresh, thing, and critically try to understand, pros and cons of your idea, the practicality of your idea. So that's how you can bring the idea to the next level. So, my dear friends, this is a process which will take reasonable time, right? And once your gut brain, that is a stomach brain, says now it's right time to launch it, then you can launch it as a pilot project. Then again, you can learn out of from the lessons, and you can basically improve it further and further. So it's a cycle. So during this cycle, you can use this innovation, ideation and brainstorming, and need identification and user centric approach, and network and collaboration, or opportunity identification, v value creation and feasibility, a adaptability and experimentation, t technology integration and scalability, I implementation and holistic approach, or outcome evaluation and feedback, and in novelty and visual differentiation. You can use these steps, or maybe lenses, to bring more and more ideas, generate more and more debate, and then come out with options, and launch few different versions, and try to test your idea in the practical context, and then see how best you can improve it to make it more scalable, and then you can further play with that, so that you can bring your raw idea finally as a innovative outcome. So this is possible, my dear friends, because sometimes back, as the former head of the Department of Transport Management and Logistics Engineering, I use my own method to actually introduce more practical approach to teach engineering students, rather than giving different assignments to different subjects. What I did was, actually, I used this model. I introduced a one major assignment. As far as I remember, it was semester four. For semester four, students who are doing transport management, logistic engineering, we gave one umbrella problem, that is a problem in the vegetable supply chain in Sri Lanka. And each and every subject, from supply chain to economics to supply chain to economics to mathematics to quantitative methods to marketing to finance, rather than giving different assignments, I actually motivated lecturers to give assignment in line with the umbrella topic, that is vegetable supply chain issue in Sri Lanka. And so we actually send the students to meet vegetable supply chain related people, and gain ideas, and do the assignments, which is a very practical assignment, where we actually collected a lot of insight from our students, so that actually we can even write a very good proposal to the government, a white paper. So I'm just explaining one of the things that I did with this innovation model with my team at my department sometimes back, as former head of the Department of Transport Management and Logistic Engineering. At the same time, I use this idea to help CEOs to refine their ideas, and help CEOs and tech leaders to innovate their ideas further. And I use this model to actually challenge existing innovation, so that the innovation can be taken to the next level. I use this model to challenge existing tech leaders to they will so that they will go to the skin of the customer, and try to improve their idea to the next level. So this model can be used in a wide variety of ways, and there's no sequence, and you can use it. So you can use this model or any other model, but the starting point is noting down whatever the new ideas that comes to your mind, and then playing with these ideas, and sleeping with these ideas, dreaming with these ideas, and never ever think that these ideas are foolish. Every idea, you get this idea with a reason, for a reason. You get these ideas for a reason. If you disrespect these ideas without writing them down, no, recording it to your mobile phone, you are actually harming yourself. You get the ideas from the universe for a reason, right? And then try to improve them. Try to mix your tech knowledge, engineering knowledge, analytical thinking, marketing knowledge, and entrepreneurial skill set to bring it to the next level. And that's how you can improve your creative ideas to innovative models, and then test it to the real ground to make it commercialize product or service one day, right? This is what I plan to do, my dear friends. And if you have any questions, you are free to ask it.
Thank you so much, sir. So we will now open the floor for the questions. If you have any questions, you can either unmute and speak or drop them in the chat. and we will address them one by one.
And when it comes to ideas, it becomes really practical innovation when you have very good heart brain. That is a heart, a kind heart to help the society. That must be your first feeling set. As a byproduct of that, you will get money, my dear friends. Right? So a kind heart, a heart to uh, help the society to remove their pains, or increase their pleasure. That's a kind heart will always generate better ideas, more practical ideas, and you will get the support of the universe to get them really, really commercialized. Any questions? And in fact, I think I have created a bit of a uh, worksheet to make these ideas to the next level. Probably I can share that with our my friend who coordinated with me. So because it's too tiny to show it here, right? Too tiny to let me try to save it and show, right? Until you come out with some sort of questions. You can ask me any questions, right?
So I'm having a doubt. Like, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
So the thing is, like you mentioned, to note down every ideas that we are getting. So the thing is, like, how to ensure, let's say, like since we are humans, we'll always get new ideas every day or every time. So in that case, like, how to know in which idea we need to work on in the future? Like,
Yes, it's a very good question. Um, my point is, all these ideas may be one day useful, but rather than just throw some ideas out, I would suggest you to write them down and listen to your gut brain. That is your stomach brain. Your guts. I mean, assume that you got 3 ideas today. Listen to your gut brain and try to see what could be the best in this moment. But it doesn't mean that you throw away the other 2 ideas, but try to develop them. Don't try to have a rigid plan, but very relaxedly think about these ideas. And so, as I said, when you're having a bath, when you are having a walk, when you're having a cup of tea, some of these dot can be interconnected. That some of these 2 ideas probably can be generate another new idea. So it's an interesting process. You have to keep a separate book or folder or different thing, so that you can improve them, and don't rush too much. I mean, you can't rush. It will take time for you to get the fullest perspective. And until that time, do brainstorming, talk, try to see how best this can be used. And there will be point where you see the real opportunity. So don't rush yourself. Don't too much stress out of it. Just thankful to your mind that it helped you to got these ideas, and uh, and uh, and uh, and just work on them. Talk about your ideas with your friends. They will add more ideas into it. So that's how it can be basically improved.
thank you, sir. Understood.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Thank you.
You can't be too much time, compete with time. Give time to give you more and more ideas related to that and around that.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. For example, Actually, I got that idea about that new type of assignment. Rather than giving too many assignment, I decided to give only one assignment for every subject in my department for that specific batch, and all targeting to that umbrella theme. How I got that was because I was actually watching the student performance in one of the student event in my department, and I realized that they are very energetic people, very creative people. I was asking myself why they are not energetic in the class, why they are not energetic, creative in the class. They are like almost very lazy type of people. So when I asked this question, I felt like it is our mistake. We are not giving assignments so that they can enjoy. So accordingly, some more ideas came, and then I thought to introduce this type of new type of assignments to the curriculum, and we actually changed the teaching method also, so that rather than we teach each and every subjects, we actually wanted the student to try some practical things and then learn themselves. And if they can't understand that alone, we decided to teach something like that. It was a pilot actually speaking. So it takes little time, maybe sometimes just 1 week, sometimes 1 month, sometimes even 1 year, or sometimes it can be 10 years. We don't know. But you have to have reasonable urgency also. But don't too much panic on the things to commercialize. Try to improve it step by step, and try to visualize that you achieve success. Try to visualize that you are going to help the society. So every day you get new ideas around that, so that you can improve them and bring it to the next level.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? So how can we differentiate the practicality of ideas in the initial stage of brainstorming? How can we differentiate? Actually, at the initial stage, as I said, you have to welcome all the ideas. And each and every idea is practical. Think about Elon Musk, right? The things that he's trying to do. Now you may say that he has enough money that he can take risks, of course. But you can create an idea and you can bring it to him. Why not? So don't think too much about the practicality at the initial point. Welcome the idea. Then try to make it practical step by step, using the model that I shared or any other ways that you have. Right? So that's my point. Don't throw away the idea. Welcome it. Write it down. Appreciate the point. Thanks the universe for giving that idea. Thank your head brain and the mind for the fact that you got a new idea. Later, you will find some more ideas around that where you can make it more practical. Right? So engineers are there to make impractical ideas practical. That's the differentiation of engineering. That's what commerce person, management person, maths person can't do. Right? That's only can be done by engineers, us. So for engineers, there's nothing called impractical. Of course, we have to make even impractical kind of concept into practical reality by putting our thoughts, thinking, and bringing in technology. Got it? Thank you very much, Madini Jayasekar, for the question. Any other questions, please? So the key point is either you have to understand the pains of the people in the society and try to use your brain and the mind to bring ideas. That's one method. On the other hand, ideas may freely come. You have to find how best you are going to pitch the idea to solve the problem. Got it? So as a country, we have a dollar problem. So if you have very kind heart here, you try to help our mother country, which gave you pre-education. And then when you think in line with that, you will get some ideas where initially you feel impractical, but later, with the adoption of the model that I discussed to any other model, you can take it to the next level, and then you can discuss those things with, people who have money, who can ready to invest, and it will become really commercialized product. Why not? So having good heart is important. Got my point? Right? Rather than only having monetary ambitions. You have to have ambition to be rich. That's really good. At the same time, you have to have the ambition to help the society, help the country, help the planet Earth, help the people. And that's what gives you practical idea. Practical idea in the sense, the idea is solving something so that there is adequate amount of buyers or customers for the idea once it's commercialized. Right. There's another question. What aspects we should consider when trying to convince an investor for our totally new idea, sir? When it comes to investor, he's only thinking two things. Number one, how fast he can get the invested money. How fast he can get the invested money. So when it comes to how fast he can get the invested money, he need to know what is the target market, how much revenue you generate, and what is the total cost, what's the net profit, and accordingly, how many months or years it will take for him to get his money back. That's one of the important questions he will ask. Secondly, the investor is checking the risk. Maybe you will calculate and show him that invested money can be doubled in 1 year. But he try to understand the risk associated with your product or service. So what are the risks and how are you going to manage the risks? Is there any risk for him? So basically, you have to answer two questions to convince an investor. First is, how fast you can give the money back, right? Number two, what are the risks and how you plan to mitigate them? When he is satisfied with these 2 points, he's even willing to put $10 million, right? So those are the two critical questions any investor is looking for. So when it comes to risk, it can be product risk, market risks. There are many risks associated with new innovation. So you have to wear the shoes. Rather than wearing the shoes, you have to go to the skin of the investor and think like the investor. Think like the investor to finalize your innovation. To finalize your innovation. So you should not be only thinking like an engineer. You have to think like the investor. You have to think that you are going to invest 10 million for this innovation. And then you have to go to the skin of that investor and think like the investor and see various questions that can be raised, various risk possibilities that he might see, various concerns that he might raise, and think about it. Right? Very importantly. And investors, they are really rich people, so you should be able to pitch your things short and sweet so that he will buy in. Clear? Thank you for the very good question. I hope I answered your question. Right? Any other questions, please? So please dream big. As an engineer or engineering student, you can make a difference in this world. Dream big and try to respect ideas. Try to get mastermind group, not just comfortable in technical things, but other aspects such as marketing and so forth. And you are also free to talk to me, right? And I also can support you. And then we can develop something, right? And don't think narrow. When you think narrow, you try to do everything alone, but it may not go to the commercialization. Try to think win-win. Try to make the cake bigger one. If you have a small cake, you can eat it alone. But together, we can create a huge cake where even a piece is much, much bigger than the small cake. There's another question. So sometimes the financial forecast might go horribly wrong due to various factors. How do we know whether an idea is worth the risk in the beginning? Yeah, it's a very good question. You can do some scenario analysis. That's one method. And you can use generative AI to do that. And probably you can do some pilot and see what is the result. So that when you can show something with pilot and result, it is more convincing to you as well as potential investors. So probably you have to take a small risk and do a pilot and see what exactly the result. And so everything involves risks. So you have to take calculated risks. That's where you can use business analytics, generative AI, and market research, piloting, and all type of things to come out with more refined innovations. Thank you very much. Anything else? And my dear friends, there are 23 people here, right? 23 engineers or 23 undergraduates. So please give your ideas. You might have better model than my model. You may contradict with some of my ideas. You may have genius ideas even to share here. Why don't you speak out? Right? Please free to do it. Because rather than I try to teach you, I try to collaborate with you to just share my idea. It doesn't mean that my idea is always right. Why don't you tell your ideas? Right? Why don't you educate me? Right? Why don't you come out with why don't you voice yourself? Right? And I think we can further utilize this time to brainstorm, isn't it? So if I miss anything, why don't you say it so that we all can learn together, my dear friends? So in entrepreneurship, in innovation, it's learning together. No one is perfect, right? We have to learn from each other. And that's what is encouraged. So please share your ideas, thoughts, right? Please voice yourself. That's very important.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question.
There's another question. You can ask the question, please. Yes, go ahead.
So, sir, according to the current trends in another 20 to 30 years, the trend is going to be sustainability, circular economy, regenerative business models. So, without creating awareness in people, how do we make sure that if we get into a new business model which is more sustainable than our current business model, how do we be sure that we are still going to create revenue, or whether we are still going to make a profit?
Yeah, I mean, what you said is some buzzwords, but of course there are trends as well. But we never know. I mean, we never know whether they are going to be trends for sure. We never know, right? But of course, things like sustainability, artificial intelligence, circular economy might be trends for some time, definitely. But after that, there will be new topics that will come. So uh, your point is logical, but it's difficult to educate people. But rather than that, we have to understand how best the trend can be used to introduce our product or service at this moment. Thinking about next 2 3 years, and then you also have to think. You have to be agile. You have to change with the environment. So today's trend about circular economy, we assume that it will remain there, but who knows? So that's why we have to be really agile, and we should change our things based on market situations and customer behavior. So I mean, all these trends are trends with some assumptions, isn't it? Some of these assumption may be wrong assumption. If there is a world war, something like that, we don't know. So that's where the tricky point is. Always there is a risk in business, but try to, rather than develop a very comprehensive product, you can choose a niche market first and introduce some product, generate some profit, learn out of it. Then you can decide to go to this direction or this direction or this direction. So it must be definitely an agile approach, because this is a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, and this is a VUCA world, complex, ambiguous. So in this VUCA world, you have to become really agile. You can't be having fixed mindset. This is the direction. Again, we have to challenge that. We should be able to challenge the assumption. That's why entrepreneur or innovator is always ahead the academics or any other professional, because unless you are ahead to them, you can't survive. It's a very good, brilliant question. But my simple answer is you have to be agile, because we can't change the environment. It might change as it is due to various uncontrollable situations. So we have to be agile. Our product, our services need to be agile. Our business model need to be agile enough to absorb the risks. I hope I answer you to a certain extent. What do you
Yes,
think,
sir. Thank you.
friend?
I think it's a good answer, sir. Thank you. It was very
Yeah.
comprehensive.
Yeah. So this is actually telling with what Lord Buddha says. Everything is changing, and then modern world is changing very fast, really fast. It's VUCA, and it's really brittle, right? Really brittle, right? So your models must be able to accommodate agility, from business model to product model to any other models. There's another question. Sir, are you coming to any future sessions of SIEE? That I don't know, my dear friends. I'm so glad that I'm given this opportunity to speak at the first session. Thank you very much. I think this is initiated by the blessings of the Dean, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I think I also was bit of a part of this, because I think I helped the Dean to bring down some money to Sri Lanka on this through my friends in Dubai. And then if you can develop ideas, of course we can use our network to make some of them very practical, commercialized ideas.
Yes.
Any other questions? I think you all asked very good question. I'm really happy. You're brilliant people. Please do ask questions. Challenge me. I like you challenging me, right? Because I can then learn and I can think about it. In fact, actually, I am a civil engineer by profession, though I'm a CEO coach, trainer, and management consultant these days. That's my main focus. But I think I did my MSc in high strength concrete, high durable concrete. and I spent 1 year to live with cement and concrete. I nearly eat at cement and concrete. Later, I worked for cement factory. Actually, I did innovation with silica foam and fly ash to make durable cement, so that such cement can produce durable concretes, so that this durable concrete can help our structures to have triple lifespan, where it can actually help the public money. So innovation can come in different things. Even I do a lot of innovation in CEO coaching, training, and development. Even though they are not very tech, they are also innovations. So, in fact, one of my idea was taken by a young software engineer, and now actually he's innovating that idea into a global product. I'm really happy about it. So I have different ideas into how to keep the energy of people motivation, how to, and different type of ideas where probably you can bring your tech knowledge to make some of these ideas into practical realities. You can develop apps. We can together develop apps, right? Innovations to go beyond just modeling, but to the real market. So I'm free to have more closer, deep discussion with some of these interested students, so that we can develop some things, and so that I also can enjoy feeling some of my ideas can come into real reality with your technical insights. Because my background is civil engineering, master's in cement and concrete, PhD in supply chain engineering risk management. I'm more into now management, entrepreneurship, marketing, and motivation and people side of entire equation than engineering. But I can bring the value from that side because I can understand the customer very well. And that's one my uniqueness. And I can actually help you to challenge your idea using some of my different thinking models, so that we can work together, my dear friends.
Okay. As the time goes on, actually, thank you so much for the engaging discussion and for addressing the questions so thoughtfully. We have also put a Google form in the chat, and you are so welcome to give us your feedback on this session.
And at the same time, there's a question whether I can give my number. Actually, my telephone number is not 777 224 not 777 224 right? And you can see me at LinkedIn, Dr. Ranil Sugathadasa. And if you want to personally meet me, give me a call and come to Transport Management and Logistics Engineering Department. And you can personally meet me also. But before you come, give me a ring, because then only I can give time slots so that we can discuss, we can synergize, actually speaking, right?
Thank you, sir. And
Yeah.
before wrapping up the session, I would like to invite Mr. Vinasirajan Virutsam, the current president of the SIEE, to express our gratitude.
Thank you. So I'd like to thank Dr. Ranil Sugathadasa for accepting our invitation so quickly and without any hesitation. We really appreciate you, sir, being here with us today. Your talk has inspired all of us to focus on making our ideas to reality. I can relate to how important it is to write down and develop ideas from the start, instead of always looking for something new again and again, like to start from something. So it's about brainstorming and building on the ideas we already have. One thing you mentioned for my question is like how like daily we are going to get many ideas. So what we can do, as you mentioned, in my early days, I can remember like in 2020, when I started my educational YouTube channel, I was noting down that I wanted to create an educational website. But like after like 1 year, I was able to do that. So the thing is, like, I was able to get a rough idea. Like when I got that idea, I was able to mark down in a notebook, as you mentioned. So that's the only thing which developed when I'm making into practical reality. So I was able to use that point, and also I was able to relate the innovation model steps to my first startup called Visual Labs, a software startup. So I'm sure that I would be able to use this model for my future works, and also others also would be able to use this. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. We look forward to having your support at future events as we work to help our students grow their entrepreneurial skills. Thank you again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
All the
Mr.
very best.
Wilson. For once again, a big thank you to Dr. Ranil for sharing his knowledge with us. And thank you to all participants for your questions and engagement. I hope today's session has been insightful for everyone. On that note, we conclude today's meeting, wishing you all the wonderful day ahead. Goodbye and take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.